what am I even really here to talk about? Well, what I'm here to talk about is my partnership with PrimeXBT. So you guys have been doing great using that PrimeXBT link. So thank you. I appreciate it. Keep hammering away at it. If you got friends who want to lose money with you, you can do so, and you can lose that money faster with the power of leverage. Available on PrimeXBT. No KYC necessary. Obviously, I'm kidding, but yes, use the Prime link, share it with your friends. 7% deposit bonus, up to $100,000 deposit would get you a $7,000 bonus. So shout out to everyone who's been using my link. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions about that, feel free to DM me. You can also go to my website, www.tradermain.com, for info on how to use it, how to input the bonus code, all that fun stuff. So with that out of the way, let's get into the charts. So we're back below 40,000. Not great. If you've been watching me and following me, we've been leaning towards a move to the downside. What I was hoping, and I think what everyone was hoping for, was that it was going to occur from up here. So if you've been watching me for a while, especially the last handful of streams, we've been talking about looking for a lower high to form from this down move. We've been waiting for that lower high, load up the boat, and short it all the way to Goblin Town. And unfortunately, it didn't get as high as I had hoped. So I had talked about this fib in the last stream. And I was saying I was hoping at the very least we'd come up to the 50 and we'd run these highs here. That was our expectation. So when I did my last stream, we were trading in this consolidation here. And I basically was pretty straightforward with what I was saying. I was like, listen, if we get above 47,000, the target is here. Okay, above 47,000, the target is here and is possibly high as any of these numbers over here. That was the aim for the lower high. What happened? We came up above. This is 47,000, found resistance, broke market structure, and just continued to sell off. That's bad. If you can't tell that's bad, I'm now telling you that's bad. Remember that range that we had been watching? I said, okay, if this is not just a deviation, we need to hold above 44. So first, when we came up here, okay, I want to see us get back above 47. And then I said the low that I want us to hold is around 44, 44.5. This was the plan, right? So we finally broke out of the range. I said, okay, we want to hold this support here. We had that order block here. We caught along here. I said, but we have to clear 47. Clear 47, we go here. If we fail to get above 47 and we go to the underside of 44, I was targeting the mid-range. And I said, basically between 47 and 44, you can just wait. If you don't want to try and guess the direction, wait for the breakout either above 47 or below 44. And you're going to get a signal, a trade signal, either to here or to the mid-range. Well, look what happened. Broke below, retest, shit the bed. Now we're right at the mid-range. And all of this was shared on Twitter. I basically told everyone to chill between here. I said, wait for a breakout in either direction and then trade it. And then what did I do? I just chopped myself to bits because I'm like a masochist and I love the pain, apparently. So this was the plan. This is from April 3rd. So this is the day of our last stream. That was the plan here, was, okay, I think it's a pretty safe play to wait for us to break on either of those two levels. So there's 47 right here. I had 48 in this instance, which is just a new high, towards 52, or below 44, down to 40. That was the plan. Wait for either levels to give way, above 48, 52, below 44, short to 40, and likely much lower, in between chill. But hopefully, and I know for a fact some of you guys followed this plan, you made some money on this move from here down to here, because it was laid out. We talked about it in stream. What would the trigger be? How would you get in? And it played out basically to a T. Soon as we got below 44, boom, you got a perfect retest as well on Sunday scam pump, and it was a straight shot down. So I know a few people caught that move because you told me, which is awesome. So anytime someone who follows me, if something I post helps you make money, I'm stoked on that. I want to hear about that. That makes me happy because at the very least, if I'm not making money, hopefully you guys are, right? Someone's got to make money. But that's basically exactly what happened here, right? So if I get back to that original chart, there it is, right? So we were trading right here when that chart was posted and that stream was done. Broke below 44. You got two tests. This was your first test, and then this was on Sunday, and here we are now, right into 40. So that was a very nice 10% move caught if you were paying attention and you followed that plan. Hopefully some of you guys made money here. I mean, if you want the hindsight trade here, I should have caught this, and I'm mad I didn't, but you basically have your move up, break in market structure, pull back, to where? The bearish order block. You even had an SFP right into the order block there. That's just on the 12-hour. If you zoom in on this thing, you had a few obvious options here to get short. So here's your H1 trend breakdown, very clearly bearish, right? I should have been selling this. The smart move would have been to short here with your stop at the high. And then what happens if we get above 48? We follow that long trigger. We close the short and we flip long. But instead, I just did nothing here. But that would have been the safe play. It's just short here. This is a obvious short, obviously in hindsight, but this is a go-to kind of trader main short here. Here's your order block that broke market structure. You have an H12 SFP. You have an H12 market structure break. You have an H1 market structure break. H1 SFP. There's SFP number 1, right? So you could have shorted on this candle close. Stop there. You could have shorted the order block. Maybe you get stopped on this first attempt. But when you see it closes an SFP, short it again. Another SFP here, and even down to here, when we broke below 44, what happened? SFP, SFP. The reasons these are working so well is because you're in line with the high time frame trend, right? That's the hindsight short from up here as well as down here, right? Your key level was 48 and 47 up here. Your key level here was 44. There's your break below. There's your bearish structure forming below your level to catch that short. Now, what are we looking for? We're back below 40K. I don't think this is good at all. Right now, I think the most obvious targets on the downside are 35. So basically, back into this consolidation, right? This has been very key support here. Trade below, above, boom. Below, above, boom. Caught the lows here. So this to me becomes the area of interest, I think, for potential longs for a bounce. I do think we come down here. I don't know if it's a big bounce. I don't know if it's a small bounce, but I do think we come down to this 35K area. I think another level on the downside that you want to watch is effectively 30,000. Back into these range lows here and take out these lows. So those would be two very critical support levels, in my opinion, on the weekly. Where did price stall? The weekly order block, right? So we had this weekly order block drawn for a while, right? If you zoom in, you can see that's the weekly order block there. We deviated above these highs into the weekly order block, and that was your top, right? So looking at the weekly, it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. It rejected at the weekly order block, right? That should be bearish. We wanted it to go higher, right? I wanted it to reject higher. I wanted it to run these highs. But if this is the lower high for the year, let's speak hypothetically here. If this is the high for the year, I know it's early, right? But if this is the high for the year, it gets way uglier than it is right now. Okay, so if you think it's ugly now, if this is the high for the year, we're going to fucking zero in a microsecond, okay? So 35 and 30K are two high time frame weekly levels that I'm pretty confident within the next 2 months we will trade at. Maybe sooner, but I'm pretty confident we will trade at both of these levels. Structure is bearish. We've been talking about that for a while. I'm pretty confident we trade at both of these levels. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is what happens if we go lower? So the reason this is so important to me here is 30K is effectively the range low. So if we're playing with this meme of like, hey, this is just a big uptrend, right? And this is just really big swings, right? And we're gonna super cycle to infinity. This range cannot break. And what I don't like is this, right? So on the way up, notice, held the range low, retested the mid-range, went to the range high, made a higher high. Deviated, what happened here? We've now come to the mid-range and rejected at the mid-range. So to me, the obvious magnet is down here, that 30K area. So that's why I'm targeting here. Range low to range high to range low. So I'm pretty confident that we will trade at the 30K handle in the near future. Does that mean just short everything now and hope that you can rebuy it at 30K? No. I mean, do whatever the fuck you want, obviously. But that is an area that I'm interested in watching, is that, kind of very high 20K to 30K area, as well as that 35K handle that I had drawn out there as well, right? These lows here. So that's something we're gonna watch for the next little bit. This is gonna be an area that we watch. Where is my bearish thesis invalidated? Got to get above 47. Get above 47. Now we're talking about the upper part of the range again. Until then, as long as we're trading below this weekly order block and below the mid-range of this entire range, 35 and 30 are the areas that I think price is likely going to trade down into. I was really hoping to get a push up above here to get into a big comfy short that I could hold. I'm upset I didn't short here, but it is what it is. So what do? Do you cry about it? Obviously. But you also got to move the fuck on and look for the next trade. There's new opportunities every day. If you miss a trade, it sucks. There's nothing you can do about it. On to the next one, right? These are two levels I'm very interested in seeing price react around. The range low, this 35K, which is these lows. But if you also take your fib from here to here, this 35K is likely going to be right around the sweet spot of the entire move. Pretty damn close. The 7.9 is around 37, so a little lower than that, but that would be that very deep pullback of this move. If we're going to put in a higher low, right, it's got to stay above here. So where do we start getting worried? What do we really want to be scared of if we go DEFCON 5? We go full Goblin Town. This is where it gets scary because it invalidates this entire range. I'm pretty confident in these two areas getting traded to in the next little bit. Do I think there's going to be longs in the meantime? Sure. We could definitely bounce before then, right? But I'm pretty sure this is a lower high here, and we're likely going to make a lower low next. What is below there? Not a lot. This to me is air. And I'm not talking like the good air. I'm not talking Air Jordan, okay? Bad air. Bad air. This is not good. I'm pretty sure if we do not hold up around here, I don't see this being an area that stops price. I know it seems like forever ago, not that long ago, price was trading in the 20Ks. So I know it seems like we're never going back there, but I'm just making you aware of the possibility. I don't know what's going to happen for sure. Okay, I don't. There's no certainties in trading. We don't fucking know. A black swan event could happen. We don't fucking know. We're seeing inflation at unprecedented levels. The bond market is fucked. Tech stocks look fucked. The S&P looks fucked, and crypto has proven time again that it is a risk-on asset that is correlated to other risk-on assets like equities. As much as we keep wanting the decoupling, the great decoupling, it might happen. It's not happening yet. It hasn't happened yet. So be aware, right? If things get uglier on the macro, things can get really ugly here. So that's why that 30K level is so important to me, because if we don't maintain this range, I don't see on the chart anything worthwhile stopping price until back here. And we never retested the 14K level. That is a legit level. 14K is a legit level. And I know it's terrifying, but this resistance, huge breakout. This is a legit level, 12 to 14K. What does that also line us up with? Every single bull market that we've had, 2009, 2013, 2017, and now 2022, we've seen an 80 to 85, sometimes even a little more percent pullback from the very high to the low of the bear market. 80% puts us right around that 14K level. Go do this on your own chart. 20K down to 3K, 83%. Here's the 2014 bull run, 1175 down to the lows, 86%. It doesn't mean it has to happen, but for someone to say that it won't happen, it's not possible to happen, that person is stupid. To me, it's just silly. Why not open yourself up to all possibilities? If you believe that we can go to 100K from here, which is more than a 2x from the current price, think of how much Bitcoin has to be bought, not just in terms of quantity, but remember, as price gets higher, it's more expensive to buy that Bitcoin to continue to put price up. If there's people who are legit like, yo, we're gonna see a double bubble, crazy super bubble to 100K, well, if this is possible, why is this not possible? I'm not saying this is impossible. I do think it's possible, but I also think this is possible. If we can trade to 100, why can't we trade back down to 14? To me, it doesn't make sense just logically to only consider one of the potential outcomes. That's just kind of the quick high level of it. 30K and 35K are supremely important. Even looking at the weekly, there's nothing here. There is nothing here. The weekly, you have a level at 20K. Between 30 and 20, there's nothing there on the weekly. Think of all the people who bought their spot Bitcoin at or around 20,000. Where do they capitulate? On the daily, I think we get a decent level around 25,000, right around here. Then 20, then 14. So downside levels, 25, 20, 14. Based on the highest time frame, 14 is a possibility down to like 12. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm just saying, I'm just putting the number out there so it's in your mind and you're not walking around thinking it's impossible that it can go lower, because it absolutely can. It can always get way uglier than you expect, just like it went probably way higher than you ever expected in the first place. So I'm just putting that out there. And then obviously, if it happens, I'm going to clip this video and I'm going to repost it on Twitter and I'm going to collect all of the clout. That's all of the super doomer talk for now. But these are the two key levels I'm watching here, 35 and 30, based on the weekly chart for now. I'm pretty confident that we trade to both of these levels. I don't know when, but those are the two levels I'm watching. Let's try and talk about something positive. Let's try and talk about anything that's not completely ugly and horrendously bearish, because it's never fun to talk about price going down after it's already going down. But I don't want to be that guy who's just talking about only bearish potential scenarios. There is a possibility of us going up, but I don't want people to not consider downside. And one of the most common things that I see on Twitter, that I see with new traders, is that no one wants to talk about potential for price going down. And it's usually because they either don't know how to short, they don't short, they're overexposed, so they have cognitive dissonance and the only direction they can consider is up. But let's talk about potential long scenarios here. I do think there are options here for potential bounces. And to be honest with you, there's altcoins that I think if we get, a 5% bounce on Bitcoin, right? 5% bounce just puts us back at 41.5. You could see some altcoins do double-digit percentages. So we'll talk about that in a second here. So looking at Bitcoin here, I like the idea of these lows here. These are effectively equal lows getting run. So you have these effectively equal lows here. So this would be an area that you could potentially look for some sort of, sweep play. So a run below these lows for a bounce. And again, this is bearish. So any sort of move up, we want to be looking at resistance that is formed here as places to take profit and potentially get into shorts, right? So keep that in mind. But I do think that these lows here seem like an attractive target. We have run a big level. We have a big level here at 40. So option number one, let me just go in order here. We're right here. How good is this support? I have no fucking idea. We have the 40K kind of big round number here that we're trading right near. And then we have this bullish order block here. We just ran all of these lows. So maybe we form some bullish price action in this area. Immediately, if we were to bounce here, my target would be 42. So if we get a decent relief bounce here, that's where you take profit in my opinion. And then likely, probably another leg down into here. This would be the first area of interest for potential longs. We have 40K here. We have this order block. Target 42. And anything I'm talking about here is a relief bounce, and then I likely think we trade lower. The next area I'd be looking at for potential relief is below these lows. So I would say around 37 to 37.5. A move down, one of these kind of things, and then I would probably target like back into, if we're consolidating here, I'd probably target back into that consolidation for my TP. Those would be the things I would be looking at as potential areas for price to get some relief. We're already down. Yesterday, I think we were down like 7 or 8%. Doesn't mean we can't drop another 7 or 8%, but I would be hesitant shorting right here. I would rather wait. There's your daily candle. That's not a good daily candle. We just broke this low as well, right? So again, we're into some support here. This is a potential bounce area towards 42. Otherwise, I think a run of these lows around 37 to 37.5 and then a bounce up to 40. Those would be the two scenarios that I'm looking for on the long side on Bitcoin. But rather than long Bitcoin or long Ethereum, I would much rather long alts. There's some alts that have been super duper reflexive on bounces. So if we're gonna get relief on Bitcoin, you wanna look at altcoins like maybe Luna, because if Bitcoin has a 5% green day, I bet you Luna puts in, a 10%, 15% candle. So if Bitcoin finds support either here or a little lower, there's gonna be altcoins that on that bounce are gonna be more reflexive, and they're going to give you a higher beta move, right? A bigger percentage move. So Luna's one I'd watch. I'm absolutely bearish on Luna. This to me looks like the 69K top on Bitcoin. This looks bad. I think you short Luna on any sort of significant pullback here. 95 to 100, up as high as 105. I think you short the shit out of Luna. because I think this thing is going down. This looks bad to me. This deviation and then a big breakdown. This to me looks like it's going to bounce, put in a lower high, and sell off. So 95 up through 103, 104, 105. So let's just say 95 to 105. That $10 range, I'm looking to build a short on Luna. I don't know if price will be that generous. Okay, I don't know. That being said, let's assume for a minute Bitcoin gets back above 40 and it goes to 42. That would be a 5% move. That would be the kind of move that, maybe Luna, if Bitcoin goes up 5%, maybe we see Luna put in a 10 to 15% move. All of a sudden we're at my short areas. So you could catch a long here, but remember, any longs I'm taking here, I'm looking to flip into shorts on a lot of these altcoins, because just like they might be more reactive on the way up, if Bitcoin makes another leg down to 35, these altcoins are going to shit the bed way harder. Way harder. So Luna is one I'm watching for a potential bounce. This is my fucking short area here on Luna. Let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum pushed a little higher than Bitcoin. So the relative strength of Ethereum was higher, right? Bitcoin rejected at the weekly order block. Ethereum traded just above, and now we're back below. How can we visually quantify this different? Quantify and visual, I don't think go together. Fuck it. It's this, right? So this chart, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green weekly candles over the last 5 weeks, meaning over those last 5 weeks, Ethereum has been stronger than Bitcoin. So that explains why this had a larger move from bottom to top than Ethereum did, than Bitcoin did. Shut up. All right. But it still doesn't look good, right? So we traded above that weekly order block and then back below. Now, similar to Bitcoin, I basically said, okay, I actually tried to long this because Bitcoin, if you remember, this is Bitcoin. I'm going to draw it. Even though I can use this tool to actually show you the charts next to each other, I'm going to draw it. Ethereum here, Bitcoin did this. That's 47K. That might be my greatest drawing yet. Ethereum, well, Bitcoin made a lower high, Ethereum made a higher high, right? So there was a divergence there. However, when Bitcoin started rejecting here, that should have been the cue to not long Ethereum, right? So we had this SFP, we had this rounding, which the best part is I posted about why this looks toppy, but I longed it anyways. I literally longed this candle here and I was stopped out immediately. But I said, if we get below this zone, I'm looking for an underside test to short, first target being here. And that worked out. So I did make some money on the way down. But when you see this type of divergence, so Ethereum makes a higher high, Bitcoin makes a lower high, and Bitcoin is selling off, that means you can get a better short entry on Ethereum, right? That should have been the cue. When Bitcoin did this, I should have been shorting up here. But it is what it is. I didn't. But I did manage to catch the short on the underside. I posted this chart on Twitter. I said if it breaks below here, pull back as a short, down into here, boom. Came down, we saw some support, and now we're selling off below that level again. So I'm actually going to now delete all of this shit because I think if you now just take this level, that becomes your key. So just like Bitcoin has some work to do, Ethereum's got a lot of work to do as well. Until Ethereum is back above 33.50, to me, this is like 47 on Bitcoin. Okay, this is 47K Bitcoin. So until we're back above there, there's no talk of 4K. But for now, we're in an interesting position here in that we're losing support. We're making lower highs and lower lows. This looks like it wants to fucking fully retrace all of these lows here. It wants to fully retrace these moves. So is there going to be a bounce here? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Similar to Bitcoin, we do have some support here that we're now trading at. Okay, so where are we at here? 29.20 to 29.90 on the 12-hour here. We're getting a little bit of a bounce. Just like Bitcoin is kind of holding around 40K right now. If Bitcoin holds 40K, trades to 42, I think Ethereum will trade to 31.50, and that's where I would TP any longs that I bought down here. Alternatively, I think you go low fishing. You wait for either this low or this low to get run, and then you see some sort of sweep. That would be the only way I'm interested in longing this thing right now. So what does that look like? Let's assume we're using this low here. I would want to see price run, move below, back above, right? The reason I'm looking for this type of structure to long rather than just long a level is because we're going down. We're in a downtrend. I'm trying to catch a counter trend move. So by having this sweep, that allows me to define my risk. Because if I'm just buying this level here, where's your stop go? If I'm longing here, I don't know, is my stop all the way down here? Like that's the swing low. Do I put it right here really tight under the order block? You're guessing, right? Whereas if we run the low and then reclaim, now my risk is defined and I'm much more confident in the trade. So that's what I'm looking for on Ethereum. Into some support right now. We've already sold off a lot, but if we get a bounce, 3150 would be the upper end of where I'm looking to TP that. 31 right here, the bottom of that, up to 3150 is where I'd be closing out that long, in my opinion. You know, this potentially looks like, I bet you have some sort of divergence here forming. I don't really like it. So you do have a bullish divergence forming here. However, I don't really like this as a bullish divergence because I think we're in a strong downtrend. I think it's much more likely that if we get a bounce, it's shallow or we just go sideways. As opposed to, oh, there's an hourly bull div, you know, send it back to fucking Valhalla. But 3150, you know, if this divergence plays out and we do get some relief tomorrow, 3150 is where I'd TP Ethereum and 42K is where I'd TP Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin probably looks the exact same. Starting to put in a bit of a bullish divergence here. Not as much as Ethereum. 42K would be the target there. What are the short scenarios on either of these, right? Both of these things have sold off pretty far already. So I'm looking to short back into resistance. So if we get up into, you know, this area, I'm looking for weakness up in here, right? To get short, right? I'm looking for that kind of structure to happen up into this cluster, into these two levels. That would be kind of the type of short idea I'd be looking for on Ethereum. Same thing is on Bitcoin here. Here's your level right in about here, 42. A move up into here gives me a reason to short. I don't know if we come all the way up to 44. Those are kind of equal highs, but not really. I don't think that high is in danger. I'd rather see, similar to the dip buy, a move up, maybe a run of that high and a breakdown or something happening around that 42K handle would be a short for me. So Ethereum doomer targets, right? So very clear, hopefully on Ethereum, 30 to 31 to 3150 is key. I'm not super bullish on Ethereum as long as it's trading below 3350. I'm not bullish at all on Bitcoin until it's back above 47. What it does in between here, I don't really know for sure. We're going to play it level to level, right? Level to level, level to level. But in terms of big time plays, until we're back above there, I think anything that happens in this area is just a lower high before eventually a lower low. Same thing here. Till we're back above here, any sort of bounce here I think is a lower high before an eventual lower low. Doomer targets on Ethereum are sub 2K, right? Like if Bitcoin is going to 30K, Ethereum's trading around $2,000. If Bitcoin is going back to 14K, Ethereum is trading closer to $1,000. And I know that seems impossible because Ethereum's supposed to go to 10K. So what the fuck? Why would it go back to 1K? But that's just like the doomer scenario. Worst case scenario. That's not even an 80% pullback from all-time high. 1400 down to 80. Ethereum pulled back 95% in the last bull run. 95, okay? You don't even want to know what that level is. What's a 95% pullback? $200? I don't think that's going to happen. I would be very surprised if Ethereum went below 1,000 in the Armageddon scenario, DEFCON 5 scenario. But 800 to 1,200, I'm fucking backing up the bus. I don't really care, even if it goes lower, because I'm pretty confident it will be a lot higher not too long after that. But 12 to 14K Bitcoin, 800 to 1,200 Ethereum. I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure, but I want to put out those numbers just in your mind. But more than anything, I just want you guys to be aware. Like if Ethereum can go to 10K, why can't it go back to 2K? Why not? A year ago, Ethereum was $1,000. Does it mean it's never going back there again? I just don't want you guys to be stuck like some people who are like, that can never happen. Because the same people who are saying that now were people back here who are like, it's going to 10K, it's never going to $100 again. And then it went to 80, right? So I'm just putting that out there. Equivalent level of like 14K to me is around 1,100 on Ethereum. But if Bitcoin goes to 35 and then goes to 30, I'm looking at 2,400 Ethereum, and then I'm looking at 2,000 Ethereum. 35K Bitcoin, maybe 2,400 Ethereum, 30K Bitcoin, 2,000 Ethereum. This guy says, Maine, this is the bottom. You have to be long right now. Well, there you go. It's that easy. This guy also apparently knows Vladimir Putin, so maybe he knows something I don't. You heard it here. Why even do TA when I have all of these fucking turbo geniuses in my chat? If we go DEFCON 5, we go full Goblin Town. We're going to Green God's banks, and those motherfuckers are stealing all your Bitcoin, okay? You're crying because you had multiple girlfriends here. Remember, you had several girlfriends up here. Below here, you might be gay. You might become asexual. You might become an incel if you're not one already. What happens if we go below the you're gay line? And I'm not trying to offend any of my followers, so I'm sorry. Don't cancel me. But if we get below the you're gay line, bro, that's our girlfriend now. What's up, baby? How you doing? Your girlfriend and I, we're leaving you. It's not us, it's you. She sees the tattoos, she sees the guns, the pearly whites, the bald head. She's in love. Call me Zaddy because I'm an 8.25, but then when you add in my massive penis, my hilarious sense of humor, and the very cool jewelry that I blew a bunch of money on when Bitcoin was at 60K, that bumps me up from an 8.25 to like an 8.5. Please don't come and hurt me. I don't have any money for you to steal anyways at this point. I have too much of a proclivity for degenerate activities with my compatriots. I'm trying to make it to Friday, my guy. I don't want you to die, bro. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. Next thing I know, I'm in a club buying a bottle. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Yo soy la flama blanca. Me llamo Trader Mate. We hold the gay line or it's over. The worst part about that is if we lose the gay line, that's this line here. Okay, if we lose the gay line, not only are we going to zero, but you're gay. And then you got to explain that to your parents that not only did you lose all their money, but you're also gay. I'm going to stop saying that because I don't want to get canceled. This guy says, am I okay? Thank you for asking. No, I'm not. Thoughts on Ohm are, oh my God, my money is gone. Your money's been obliterated. Your money has become obsolete. Objectively horrendous market. You're gonna be homeless. No offense to you because you're holding a bag. I hope this coin goes to zero. It's like a fucking bad dream. Fuck this coin. I hope it goes negative. Which I predicted. Where's my money, bro? I don't think Dan Pena would respond to my DM. I don't even know if Dan Pena's on Twitter. He's old. We've established 30K, you're gay. It's like a slogan and I'm like running for president, except for it's like I'm running for the mayor of Goblin Town. Below 30K and you're gay. I gotta stop saying that. I'm gonna get canceled. You guys know I'm a clout goblin. Insert goblin face over my face. I'm a clout goblin. Hello, Mr. Maine. You're my favorite bald celebrity. Why you gotta bring hair into this? I'll fucking take you like Will Smith and fucking give you one of those. But thank you. I appreciate that. Chin chin, salabim, my friend. Bob's your uncle, or maybe he's your aunt. I don't know. 2022 is weird.